Welcome back to Eternal Serenity Tarot, Scorpio. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in a silly, goofy mood today. I'm always in the best mood after my period is over, and it sucked the life out of me because all I do is rest that whole 4 days. Actually, it's the 4 days and like the week before my period. The way that shit wipes me out, it gets very critical. So, happy birthday, Scorpio. It's you guys' season. Um, I don't know how much fun you guys are having right now. So I don't even have all your cards out because I kind of want to do it in real time. But wow, I've been fine all day. All of a sudden, I start doing your reading and my throat starts going out. So I'm thinking. I'm thinking. I think this month is going to be emphasizing you guys speaking up for yourselves by way of setting boundaries. So if you feel like you're in an environment, whether this is a work environment, this is a social circle, this is like family matters, this is a one-to-one partnership, it's going to be really important that you assert yourself this month, because it seems like you not doing that so far, you seem to be the one like bearing the brunt of the responsibilities right now. It's a really overwhelmed energy in the collective right now. First card out was the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So Three of Pentacles is all about collaborative environments. So like I said, but it's about how we as a group, whatever group this is that you're a part of, or again, if it's not a group, then this is just, it's a one-to-one relationship. It's a friendship. It's a romantic partner. How much time, energy, attention, money, time and energy are also very, very important. So you may feel like, well, this person's doing a lot financially, but they're not giving you any of their time, or this could be any kind of a group where financially there isn't an issue, there isn't a disparity, but there's a disparity in the amount of effort that's being put toward this group. This could even be a project. You could be working on something with someone, and it's like maybe they're funding the entire thing, but they're leaving all of the work, all the responsibilities, all of the headache to you to shoulder by yourself. And they're like, "Oh, I'm supervising," like, "Oh no, I'm the investor." But it's just a way for, regardless of what this is, whether this is a project or any kind of relationship or work or whatever, this is just a way for someone else to be reaping the benefits of your hard work. And we don't do that. So on the bottom of the deck, we have the Ten of Wands. So if you keep things up, okay, when we have the Ten of Wands, the way I see it is you have two choices. Either you take heed of how you're starting to feel, because you could feel like burnout is starting to creep up on you, and you could be ignoring the way that your body is calling for you to rest right now. But if you keep that up, you're going to have to rest. It's just going to be by force. So when we see the Ten of Wands, this is like either you nip it in the bud now and start getting some rest, or it will be nipped in the bud for you later by your body when your limitations, because we are all human beings. As I always say, we're not robots. We don't have factory settings. We're not machines. We don't exist to just pump out labor. I'm hearing the word excruciating too. So whatever you guys are taking on right now, this shit is like, it's intense. You will crash. It's just, the best way that I can describe it in the way that it's coming out, you will crash because, like I said, burnout will happen and you will be met with your limitations and the fact that you think that you don't have any. Um, and that can come by way of like an actual physical injury. It can come by way of like getting sick. You know, let's say you're neglecting yourself and you're not taking your vitamins, which I'm definitely preaching to the choir right now. But if you're not taking care of your body, right, you're not eating right, you're not making sure that you're hydrated. Um, I'm looking at my little sun ashtray and it's like you're not getting enough vitamin D. Um, your body is already not functioning at its maximum capacity anyway. It's like you're pushing out all of this work, but then you're not pouring back into yourself. You're not an endless well of labor. You know, you're not an endless well of support either. If this is a friendship or a community or social circle, whatever this is, if you are giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and you are not receiving, this is not a good thing. Because it means that you're not replenishing yourself properly. So Scorpio, you just really want to check in with yourselves and shift your focus. Now I'm looking at the high priestess, so I feel like there is some part of you that is aware of this, um, or it's trying to be brought into your awareness. There could also be things that, like intuitive downloads and messages about your path forward beyond whatever it is that you're dealing with right now that you should be receiving, but you're not because you don't have like the capacity in your brain right now. And it's not that you don't have the capacity, but it's that you are at max capacity or maxed out. It's like y'all are running on E right now, but somehow that car is still going. So if you're feeling lost right now, or you're feeling like you're on that hamster wheel, you're running around in circles and you don't feel like you're getting very far, it's because the directions for where you're meant to go next, what you're supposed to be doing next, how you should move forward, are just waiting for you to get some alone time. It's waiting for you to take some space to yourself so that you can hear your thoughts and also feel your feelings. All right. Under the high priestess, we've got the Queen of Cups in reverse. So, yeah, this definitely feels like overgiving. And you want to be careful because what happens when you overgive like this, and some of you might just not even be allowing yourselves to receive support right now. So maybe you just haven't even asked because you're like, oh, I can just do it all on my own. You know, I'm getting that you guys need to start saying no more. So if you're already tired, even if you're not busy, see, this might be where you guys are getting yourselves fucked up. If you're not busy, but you're tired, you're resting, this is your day off, this is your time off, and somebody's like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you come with me for this? Can you? No. The answer is no, because you actually are doing something. You're resting. So I think you guys are needing to shift your perspective as far as, well, first of all, your priorities. You need to become your main priority, especially if you're working a job that is very taxing and you already have a lot of responsibilities in that way. That's not something that obviously you can just shirk. You know what I mean? If you're at work, whatever they give you to do, you just got to roll with it. So, wherever you can take that space, though, that's what you need to be doing. So, when you're not working that job, you don't need to be doing other people's stuff. we're not pulling oracle cards just yet, but for further reinforcement of what I'm saying, on the bottom of the deck, when I was shuffling, we had happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise, which is mentorship, fulfillment, peace of mind, and self care. So there's definitely there's definitely I don't want to say this. There's definitely a need for you to shift gears. So I'm gonna give you guys a really good example because this is the like mental image that I'm getting right now. Let's say this is your day off, or you just got out of work. You come home, and somebody that has been, I won't even say somebody that's been sitting on their ass all day. I'll just say somebody that is resting, right? They're prioritizing rest for themselves, right? They see that you've just come out of work, off of work, whatever. And instead of being like, oh, so and so just finished working, I know how hard they work too. So let me do this myself. Fuck that, right? They ask you to do what they could very well do for themselves. Do you see how in this instance they are prioritizing their rest? So, you know what's funny? I was gonna say Queen of Cups in reverse, and my brain said Queen selfless. Okay, so whether you are, no matter how you identify, right? That was just spirit making a little jokey joke. But it's to say that you guys need to learn how to be more selfish this month, and I think you're going to have to learn how to move through the guilt that comes along with you being more selfish and people trying to make you feel bad about that. Because there's a time to be selfless and consider other people's needs, and then there's a time to be selfish and consider your needs. There are ways to be selfish where other people don't get hurt. And I want you to really keep that in your mind when I say emphasis on people don't get hurt, because there are going to be people that are going to try and emotionally manipulate you into believing that you're hurting them. So discernment is really going to be key here. So just remember that, like, oftentimes, I say this all the time, whenever you find yourself, I'm hearing at your wit's end, but you're just pushing and pushing and you're being so selfless, and you're like, oh yeah, I'll do that for this person. Oh yeah, I can do that for them. It's not that it feels like it's coming from a bad place, although I did see the devil in the deck. So actually, this might be a toxic pattern of yours, believe it or not, because you can hear that and be like, how is me being the giving tree toxic? Because you are the one swallowing the poison. And I think it's really easy for people to only see toxic behaviors as being things that affect other people negatively, but toxic behaviors can also be things that only affect you negatively. It's the fact that the impact is negative regardless of who it's on. So you're more worried about not hurting these people's feelings or not saying no to these people and letting them guilt trip you to the point that you take your feelings and you just throw them to the wind. So I don't think that this is your fault, because this sounds like it was bred into you in your childhood. This sounds like something that you've been taught to do for a long time, which is to make sure that everybody else is happy and taken care of and put yourself dead last, if even on the list. And this month, you're being called to really look into that. Now, it might, I don't have the tower here, but it's kind of feeling like the tower moment just because I'm looking at this 5 of Wands. So there could be some kind of a disagreement that comes up around this. This could be fights in the workplace if this is a work environment issue. Um, or you could go, you could notice that there's an imbalance here, and you could either try and address it or like move accordingly. You could be trying to put yourself first the way that you feel like those around you are doing, and that could trigger somebody's ego. For some of you, I'm also getting specifically like this feels like this is somehow tied into your sense of self-worth. So your ego is also tied into this. So for some of you, you could have become the giving tree as a way to feel seen, whether this is at work or this is in a family environment or this is in a relationship. It's like this is how you fight to be seen. I was going to say valued. So I think that this is where you place your value. It has to do with like what you can produce. But you would see this as being like your standout quality that separates you from other people. Again, whether that's at work or at home, all of the above. Um, could be in school. um, it's like you wear this with pride. You know, this is like your trophy that you carry around with you. For some of you guys, this is like the chip on your shoulder that you wear, but it's not, you're not getting anything out of it. Other people are benefiting from this and you don't gain not a thing because you are just worn down, burnt out. And at the end of it, you're not valued, you're not seen, you're not appreciated. And okay, we saw that Queen of Cups, and I was saying, be careful about resentment. There could be something that happens this month or over the next few months, because remember, tarot is timeless. So even though this is a November reading, this could be next year, like this could be 3 weeks from now. You know, it just depends. This could be something that has already happened. What could happen here for some of you guys that really might trigger you and might be really uncomfortable, but this might just be the thing that you need is, let's say this is at work and you're like, oh, what do I bring to the table? Well, I'm hearing I'm the flunky. I'm sorry. But this is like, I'll do whatever you need me to do, you know, and then some. I'll stay late. And I'm laughing at this because this was me at my last job. But it's like, I'll stay late. You need me to, so-and-so's not doing that right. You need me to do it? I'll do it. And it's like you're doing all of this to try and set yourself apart. And then somebody else is getting recognition, or they're just straight up not seeing it, or somebody else. Maybe you're doing this in hopes that you're going to get promoted and then somebody else gets a promotion. Or I'm trying to figure out how this would work in a family environment. I guess if you were doing this in a family, I don't know. I mean, I guess that's tricky. I guess take the same thing, like you're bending over backwards for everyone, but then somebody else gets some kind of reward, or you just still feel like you're being overlooked, you're being undervalued, you're being underappreciated. You could be in the middle of resting and somebody comes to you like, oh, can you take care of this for so-and-so? Can you help so-and-so out with this? And it's like, this is a grown adult. They don't need my help. Why are you infantilizing this person and putting that responsibility on me, another adult, to come in and make up the difference for them? Why do they get to be babied and I have to be Mr. or Mrs. Fix It? Why do I have to come in and put out all the little fires? Why don't you just tell these people to stop creating fires for themselves? You know, it's like other people get to live recklessly, and then You have to be responsible. You have to be the adult. You have to be mature. No, you don't. Some of y'all need to take it to hell. Okay. When they go low, you go lower. No, but this is just like as selfish as other people in this environment are being, it's time for you to start being selfish. If this is work, stop volunteering to do extra stuff. That's really above your pay grade for some of you and just not in your job description. Y'all need to, oh my God, y'all need to be like Helen in that episode of Drake and Josh where her catchphrase was, that is not my job. Like, whether this is at home, at work, friendship, I don't care. Keep that in your mind. That's not your job, Scorpio. It's not your job. Get somebody else to do it. We got the sun card at the bottom of the deck. So this is so much joy and positivity. Whatever this is that happens, I feel like things really start looking up for you if you can maintain these boundaries. Because we got the Five of Wands, and then next to it, we have the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So this talks about coming out of a period of feeling alone, feeling abandoned, where things can feel desolate, resources can feel scarce. You know what? This actually feels like the scarce resource that you've been fighting for, because I really am tying this back to family. For a lot of you, this is going to be family. The scarce resource that you've been fighting for is love. So it feels like in this environment, it doesn't feel like there's enough love to go around. There's only enough love for whoever is doing, I guess, the most at that time. I don't know. There could be a lot of comparison happening, because I was also getting like competition with that Five of Wands. It's definitely a card of competition sometimes. And people trying to best each other. So this could be a pattern that you're learning how to break. We have the Death card here, and then we've got the Three of Cups in reverse. So whatever it is that's going to happen is going to free you. There's going to be a lot of clarity gained for you guys this month. Under that Sun card is the Nine of Pentacles, which talks about being stable, being independent, taking care of yourself, not relying on other people. And then we've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like that's overworking in this case. Some of you guys could be overly worried about your stability, or you've gotten really attached, I want to say, to how well you're doing financially. Like every time that money hits that bank account, because this could be a lot of you that are taking on a whole bunch of hours at work. It's like the difference in the money that you're making once you started taking everybody's shift. Those people that you work with that like they're the go-to, like, oh, I can't come to work, like so and so can you take my shift, and they're like, yeah, like, and you're wondering, like, does this person have a social life? Do they have a life? How can you work? You're on the schedule all the time, and then anytime anybody else needs you to work, you do it. How, like, because we have the Three of Cups in reverse, so I feel like somebody's social life is suffering here, or your friendships are suffering. People could be feeling neglected. You could be feeling guilty, like you're neglecting other parts of your life because you just don't have the time for it. Even early bird catches the worm. So whatever that means to you this month, Scorpio. Seven of Swords in reverse. So this is also about clarity. This is about a revelation. This is about something coming to the forefront that may have been hidden before, something that you couldn't see. But it can also be a really good plan, a good strategy, some sort of an idea that's been well thought out and is now going to be shared. And then we've got the Nine of Cups and the Six of Wands. Okay. For those of you that this isn't applicable to your life, this could be a relationship that you are in with another person. This could be a friendship that you are in with another person where things have not felt balanced. You're like, where's my friend? Where's my partner? Where's that person I'm dating? Like, why are they MIA? Why am I getting so little of their time and their energy and their intention? Like, who are they giving it to? And they're giving it to work. Because with this Three of Cups in reverse, this doesn't feel like a third party. This feels, and if, no, it is a third party, but the third party is not another person, it's their job. And maybe it's like family stuff, it's responsibilities. um I said that and immediately I heard they're planning to come see you. So that could be something that's happening. Somebody's been planning something behind the scenes that you don't know about. It's like they've been away, but they haven't not been thinking about you or this situation. It's like they're well aware that they're not giving this what it should be. And I think that that could also be what this Eight of Pentacles is. They're maybe coming to understand the concept of like where energy flows, it grows. So if you take all your energy and you put it into work, that sector of your life is going to be booming, thriving, right? But if you neglect everything else, that's going to show as well. So if you're dating somebody, you're in a relationship with somebody, or you're mm, we don't have any cards that are saying this is love yet, so I'm not gonna take it and apply it there. Whatever kind of relationship this is, okay. This could even be a family member. This could be a parent, right? Um, they're realizing that the state that your relationship is in and the lack of like progress forward is because they're not giving to this relationship. And maybe it took this person working like they're working and seeing the results that they're gaining from how much work they're putting in at work to be like, wow, there's a lot of reward, like the fruits of their labor. But then they're looking at this relationship and they're like, why is this at a stalemate? And they're like, huh. The gears are turning in somebody's head and they're starting to put the pieces together that the lack of rewards in this situation is because of the lack of input. They're getting exactly what they put into this, which is nothing. Nothing is happening here because they are giving the situation nothing. So that could even be you, Scorpios, realizing this about a relationship that you're in, or somebody you're connected with. It feels like a light bulb moment for somebody. Because we've got the Nine of Cups. Oh, we got the Nine of Cups in reverse. I didn't even catch that. Okay. So somebody, and this could be you, Scorpio, take it where it fits. But somebody here is they're stable, right? We got the Nine of Pentacles. So somebody is able to take care of themselves. Things are good for them materially. There's no concerns over money. There's no concerns over like, how am I going to pay my bills? This person's working hard and it's showing in what they're getting back from it, right? We said that already. However, this Nine of Cups in reverse feels like two things. Because sometimes the Nine of Cups in reverse can be that you're getting what you want, but it's like now that you got it, you realize you don't want it all that much. You realize that this didn't fulfill you in the way that you thought it was going to. So for this person, this could have been how much money they're making right now or how well they're doing. They thought that that was going to satisfy them. Because it's like they can buy whatever they want. They can technically do whatever they want, although not really, because this person is a slave to their job. So they're making the money, but they're not enjoying it. They're not fulfilled. They're feeling dissatisfied. So it's like, I guess technically you could say I'm doing well on paper. You could say I'm doing well on paper. And remember, this is a reading for Scorpios. And if this isn't resonating for you, if you're watching this and you don't have Scorpio placements and this is resonating for you, this could just be something that's playing out over the course of Scorpio season. Um, Again, Six of Wands. So there is success happening here for someone. But ooh, Six of Cups in reverse. So there's something from the past that's tied in here. Because when we have the Six of Cups in reverse, that means that we are holding on to something that has already happened or things that have already happened and they're now affecting us presently. So this could even be somebody's fear. Somebody could have grown up poor or like with financial issues and they don't want to go back to that. So that's what's causing them to work as hard as they're working, to the point of neglecting themselves and their relationships and, like, every area of their life that is not their job. And it's because they're afraid to take their foot off the gas. Nine of Wands in reverse, which can talk about like delays. It could be delays, but again, it can also just be a person who's moving very impulsively and very haphazardly, in the sense that they could make plans with someone, but then their job is like, hey, there's an open shift, you want it? And this person's like, or they're like, hey, you want to stay later tonight? And this person's like, okay, and they cancel whatever plans they had going on to take on that later shift. But all of this has to do with their fear of loss, their fear of being where they've been before. And if they've never been there before, then they just have a fear of getting there. All right. I'm going to pull a couple more cards, then we're going to pull some oracle, and I'm going to let y'all go. Before I even pull again yet, okay, there's the Three of Swords. I was going to talk about it because I saw it, and it was upright when I saw it. So there could be somebody that is feeling hurt, maybe. And it's, again, like I say, I'm going to keep saying it. I'm actually not going to keep saying it. This is the last time I'm going to say it. If this isn't you and this is somebody else that you're dealing with, just apply it where it goes. There could be someone here who is either realizing how they've broken their own heart or hurt themselves. I'm hearing a pattern of isolation. So this could be something that this person does that gets them into trouble. And they could just now be realizing that. Because it's like, if they weren't using work as a reason to isolate themselves, then there were other ways that they would isolate themselves in the past. Work is just a really good excuse now. Because it's like, oh, no, I can't hang out with you, I'm working. So there's a lot tied into this here with this work situation that somebody has going on. It could even be that this person, that like that message that I had earlier about needing to say no, needing to set boundaries, I think that is something that this person is realizing, because they could feel guilty about saying no. If somebody's like, hey, I need you to do this when you get off work, but they actually had something else planned or something else that they wanted to do, they feel guilty if in that moment they prioritize themselves and say like, oh, but I told so and so I was gonna hang out with them. I told so and so I was gonna do this. Like, I was planning to do this. I was actually just gonna go get my ass in bed. you know, they feel guilty about that. So then they do it anyway, right? They do whatever this is that's being asked of them. And then, like I said, they're canceling plans and stuff like that. It's like their relationships, I think, heavy emphasis on their relationships, are suffering right now. So, Scorpio, if this is somebody you're dealing with, you could be one of the relationships that's suffering right now. So the Three of Swords in reverse being here with the Sun card means that somebody is I feel like the level of clarity that they're gaining is allowing them to see this situation as being less hopeless. Or it's like they could have felt like the state of your relationship, or you could feel like the state of your relationship, if you're the person that's overworking, is something that's happening to them and not something that they are playing a part in and they have control and say in. So if they don't like how things are going, then something needs to change, right? Like something has to give. We've got the Death card here, so there's something that needs to be released. There's something that needs to be let go of, in order for this person to get what they want, which is connection. And not just like having connections in your life, but actually being able to feel the warmth of being connected very deeply to people that really care about you. I don't think that they're allowing themselves the time to be able to exist in those spaces, even though that's something that they are deeply craving. And so it's interesting because I feel like this person is triggering themselves. So if they isolated themselves a lot growing up, and they've dealt with like feelings of loneliness or feelings of being outcast, maybe they were an outcast growing up, maybe they weren't accepted by those around them. It's like now they're at a point where they have people around them that do love and accept them, and they are a part of a group, or they are connected to people that really care about them, but they're needing to heal that part of them that still feels like that same child that was being rejected by their peers or their family. There could even be rejection wounds tied into their family situation. And so remember when I was saying that somebody was tying, like, this is how they're fighting for love, by trying to make themselves as useful as possible. This could be like, well, when I show up in this way, I don't get rejected. So my heart is definitely going out to whoever this message is resonating for, because it's feeling a little heavy. But the Three of Swords is here in reverse. So I feel like somebody is working through this or is going to be working through this. It just feels like somebody has to allow themselves to be loved, because they've been using work as an excuse to avoid putting in the effort and the time into something and really investing into it for fear of loss. It's like they have a fear of ending up alone, but they don't realize that that's becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, because they're putting themselves in position to choose to end up alone. Whereas they're looking at it like it was inevitable and it was just something that was just going to happen to them. I think they're coming upon the realization that that doesn't have to happen to them. It's not a guarantee as things stand, but if you keep what you're doing up right now, it's absolutely a guarantee. All right. We got the Page of Swords. So there could be a conversation coming up surrounding this. Somebody could be feeling a little bit defensive, because look at how the Page of Swords looks in this deck. Does he look receptive? And this could be you, Scorpio, if you're dealing with this person. You could be feeling defensive over the way things are happening right now because you don't have access to information. They're not giving you any information. They're not filling you in. And the way it looks is just like this person is making time for everything but you. But I don't think that's actually what's happening here. They're not making time for very much of anybody or anything right now. And if they are making time for other people and not you, I don't think it's as cut and dry as it may feel, because you're taking it personally, which is valid because it's this person's responsibility to give you this information, so you cannot take it personally. And again, this could be you, Scorpio. But I do feel like there's clarity coming in, and both parties will be able to move forward accordingly either way it goes. All right. So clarifying the Five of Wands, we have the Devil in reverse. If this is not about your relationship with another person, and let's say this is like, let's say this is you, Scorpio, and this isn't about like a specific person that you're dealing with, and this is a family situation or a job, as you continue to address this and really gain some self-awareness, and not just self-awareness, but as you gain awareness of the motives and intentions of those around you as well, and sort of, it feels like you're gaining awareness of how you're playing into something, like you're enabling something, like there's a system that's in place and it's not functional because it's kind of resting on your back right now. Like I said, it's like you're on the hamster wheel running, and that's what's keeping the power on. Once you stop and you realize that you are the thing that is upholding this system, I think you're going to gain more comfort in the idea of taking a step back and letting this fall around you. Okay, so that's for those of you that this is not about like a specific relationship that you're dealing with. As you're healing, you're going to realize what your role in this is, the patterns and the wounds that this plays on within you. And the more you work on those, the more you're not going to have a need to feel like you need to fight to be loved, or to have this could be an ego death that you guys are going through. It's like, as you heal your relationship with your ego, you will realize that overextending yourself is not a way to protect yourself from being abandoned or discarded. And that if it is, with the way things stand right now, it's just not worth it. For those of you that this is, hold on, before we go there, I just want to make sure I don't have anything else to say about that. Yeah, you're realizing that self-abandonment is not better than having other people abandon you. But I think it's going to come from, like I said, you just letting the tower fall, you know? It's like if you're playing tug of war, right? And there's two teams, and you're that person that's all the way in the back that's doing all the work. I see you just letting that rope go. You know, because it's just giving that, like, you guys are functioning as the strength and the backbone of, for some of you, this is multiple different areas of your life. This could be happening in your friendship. This could be happening in your social group. This could be happening at work. This could be happening at home. This could be happening in your romantic relationship. Like, this feels like a karmic pattern, like a loop that you've been stuck in. And so now this is like, it's a knot. And now the knot needs to be untangled. And this is something that you're going to have to kind of like cut yourself out of. And I feel like that's really going to take some objectivity from you guys. So, Scorpio, you're a very intuitive sign. You're a water sign, right? And the fact that you are a water sign, whether this is for, sun, moon, rising, Venus, or north node, it's like the fact that water signs care so much about other people's feelings. They are deeply empathetic, means that you're at risk. So there's nothing wrong with being empathetic, but there is something wrong with not setting boundaries, because then that empathy becomes toxic for you. But it also becomes toxic in general because you start realizing that your heart isn't really in what you're doing. You're doing this out of like obligation. This is people pleasing. So interesting that like I said your heart wasn't in it, and my little heart-shaped necklace is over here flipped upside down. Because I feel like for a lot of you guys, you're actually disconnected from your heart space, which is why you can't hear your intuition, because you're too busy running on autopilot, just trying to do everything that you need to do because you're like shutting down, so that you can play this role that is, quite frankly, very outdated. Okay. Yeah, under the death card we have the Hierophant, which is about like beliefs. I think this is about what and who you've been allowing to lead you thus far, and realizing that they are leading you off a cliff. And now it's time for you to step up and lead for yourself in this way. And it's going to cause you to have to divest from whatever system that this is, in order to create a newer, better, stronger, more progressive system for yourself that isn't like a little tiny box that doesn't account for your humanity. So, there comes the reverse and the Knight of Wands. Okay, let's tie this back in now to those of you that this is about a one-to-one relationship. Still haven't gotten love. So it's not automatically somebody that you're dealing with romantically, although it could be. You know what? The fact that I'm not getting love, if this is somebody that you're dealing with romantically, this just means that there aren't loving feelings happening in this situation, because there's a major disconnect between you and this person. Even if this is a friendship, there aren't feelings of like connection, even though I'm getting that this is about, for some of you guys, a person that you're connected to, whether you're finding yourself again as being the workaholic or the other person is. This Three of Cups in reverse with the Knight of Wands feels like a person, because it's also the Hierophant is next to the Knight of Wands. So this feels like a person that is they feel so caged in by this system that their way of seeking control right now is not being accountable to people. So they're looking at whatever little bit of time they have as being their own. And it's kind of like a don't question me. It's kind of what it's giving. Because they're overly responsible to their job. And for some of these people, they're overly responsible to their family or whoever this is. To the point that anybody else is like, I don't have to answer to you. So this person with the Knight of Wands, they're in the wind. They are a little bit of everywhere. It's kind of chaotic, the energy, because it's like everybody's getting little bits and pieces of their time. It's very like sporadic. But again, it's like, but don't call me out on it. Don't call me out on it, because I'm going to get defensive. So this could be something that does come to a head between you and another person, regardless of where you sit in this situation. Because you might address it, or they might address you. Somebody's going to address something here. And, or somebody else is going to reach out and they're going to be met with not the reaction that they're hoping for. And that'll cause conflict. But with the devil here, it feels like it's good conflict because it feels like somebody here needs to be called out because they need to face this. That's the problem. They're not trying to face this right now. They don't want you asking questions because they don't want to face the situation that they're putting themselves in right now because they want to just keep doing it even though it's not actually functional for them. So if this is about a friend or, again, family member, whoever this is, if this is about the state of your relationship with them right now, I don't see things going poorly. I think you'll be fine. It's just that there's going to be turbulence, turmoil. Um, Again, it feels like a tower, but like a good one. Like somebody's coming and taking that hammer and knocking at that tower, but it's perfect. It reminds me of Jenga. It's like if you take the piece out and the whole tower falls down. But it's like somebody needs to do it because this person, the way they're going, if nobody says anything, they'll just keep going. You know, like it would just keep going. So they kind of need to be stopped in their tracks one way or another, which is, so. All right, Scorpio. We'll pull a couple oracle cards for you and then we're done. Not all the time in the world on the bottom of the deck. How ironic, right? Came out too. All the time in the world. Having enough time and time management. I'm going to read that one from the book for you guys. Let's pull two more. Ooh, I accidentally dropped the deck and another chance to be. I'm going to take this one. Wanted to show itself. So for a lot of you guys, this definitely does have to do with a relationship. Reclamation, second chances, rebirth, and emotional healing. Yeah, that's why I said that this was good conflict. I don't see this being an ending between you and this person, even though we have the death card. This signifies like a really major like checkpoint in somebody's life, and I think it's a major checkpoint and turning point in your relationship with them, because with this Five of Pentacles in reverse, the Sun card, and the Death card. Let me show this to you guys because it looks real beautiful. Look at the Death card. So this signifies, if this person allows it to, and remember this could be you, Scorpio, this signifies the end. I'm hearing a chapter of loneliness for this person that has gone on for very long, but it's because they've prolonged this ending, because even though they don't like being lonely, and I don't think they even like being alone as much as they've been forcing themselves to be, and they don't like feeling like they're on the outskirts of a friend group or a relationship. They don't like things being on the outs because it starts to get really loud. But they've grown so used to it that now it's become a comfort zone. So the Death card here just feels like, with the Sun, it's like this person is going to be met with a reality that is far greater and much brighter than they really could have imagined. I don't think they imagined this for themselves. I think they just grew to accept things for how they've always been, and they were like, well, that's just how it's always going to be, even though that's not what they wanted, you know. So now they're being presented with an opportunity to have what they actually do want, which is different from what they've ever had, and this is connecting with people in a real way, but it requires them to actually have to show up. They have to be around, and they have to be seen. And I mean, they have to be felt, which is interesting. But the only way for them to be felt is to allow themselves to feel and let those walls down. And it just feels like come out of the darkness. You know, it's like they have to step into the light. I'm hearing that song Lights Up by Harry Styles. Um, and he's like, I'm not ever going back. And that song is about really choosing to be yourself regardless of what other people think about it, and accepting that everybody's not going to like it, and there are going to be people that are going to look at what you're doing and the self that you're embodying, because they've never seen it before. They don't know this side of you. There are going to be people that look at it as wrong. There are going to be people that disagree with it, but the amount of freedom that you're going to feel from just stepping out and being yourself, and allowing the people that are going to love your true self to love you, and those that can't to just fall away, it's going to create that death card energy, which is never going back. Okay, the death card is all about the kind of deep transformations that take place, and things that end that we can't get back, but also once we heal, we realize we don't want them back. So it's gonna hurt in that moment, of course, because these are people that you care about, and these are relationships that you care about, these are things that you care about. But as you heal, you're going to look at it like, well, I guess that was their loss. Because if I had to be somebody else in order for these people to fuck with me, then they don't fuck with me. They fuck with the projection of the image that I'm putting out. And that's not even who I actually am. And it's getting to a point of being burdensome, pretending like that's really me. Like, if you can't accept the full me, hello. So it's also giving I'm Coming Out by Diana Ross. Somebody could literally be coming out. Under see Under a Chance to Be was Holding Space for Love, which is non-judgment, discernment, self-acceptance. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take the one that's under it, which is The Mask We Wear. Self-expression, protection, and authentic self. So let's take these. And ooh, Gratitude is Dreaming is trying to pop out. I know that card talks about gratitude and the law of praise. All right, where's my book so I can read this to you guys? Yeah, holding space for love, though. That's what they're getting ready to do by just being themselves. It's like, take it or leave it. You know, like either people are gonna hold space for you and love you, or they're not. But if they don't, you got to take that for what it is, and not feel like you need to shape shift into what you think people will love and accept. All right, we're going to start with holding space for love. All right, the key concepts are being present with an open heart, heart-centered, non-judgment, discernment, self-acceptance, and listening. You may be having an experience meant to teach you a lesson that you thought you'd already learned. It's causing you to feel like you're retracing your steps, but you are truly progressing, moving forward like a dancer on a spiral staircase. Along the way, you learn how to love and accept yourself, and then are better able to hold space for others. Now you're being asked to observe a person or situation with an open, loving heart, releasing the need to judge or fix. It's more important now to understand them than for you to express your perspective. Can you slow down and listen deeply with your heart rather than your head? Drop the lens of the past and see through compassionate eyes. Listen between the lines to what's not being said in words, but what may be expressed in a more subtle way. Allow things to be as they are, and still be willing to move forward to explore and learn, and let curiosity lead the way. You're in a beautiful place right now. So love the imperfections you're gifted with. It will set everyone free. So, Scorpio, if this is about a person that you're dealing with, you are being asked to put your pride to the side. Okay. um, what just fell out? The Four of Pentacles just fell out of my deck. Um, which can be a card of selfishness, stinginess, can be hoarding. And you can be hoarding anything. Like I said, money, resources, your time, your energy. But this is also about releasing the need for control, which is so funny that just fell out after we just read that card. Oh man. Anyway, um, um, I understand how what's happening here could be taken personally, and because there could have been a lot of silence or just again a lot that's not being said, that could have put you in a place of overthinking, that could have triggered your own wounding of being like, well, what the fuck did I do wrong, and why are you choosing everyone and everything over me? Everybody's triggered in this situation. But I think it's going to be important for both people, because I don't think that card is like shut up and listen. Take your perspective and shove it. No, it's like there are going to be times for both people to express themselves, um and for the other person to just listen and receive them well, instead of listening to react. Like, listen to just receive what this person is saying and really take it in. Both parties are going to need to do that. For those of you that this is not about another person that you're dealing with, and this is a message that is solely about you and your journey, in regards to, like I said, either your job, or your family, then I would say holding space for love is going to be, well, first of all, lean on whoever you have right now that doesn't see you as being a machine and will just listen to you vent and just go on and on. What people call trauma dumping. Somebody that will just let you dump on them and is willing to shoulder that with you because they care about you. But it's also going to be about holding space for love of yourself. So this non-judgment that you need to have needs to be towards yourself. Self-acceptance is on this card. And discernment, which is what I was referring to when I was saying, like, people are going to guilt trip you, and it's just about having the discernment to know when you being selfish is a bad thing and when it's absolutely called for, because you need to be a little bit more selfish. And for you guys, you need to be a lot more selfish. The another chance to be card, if this is not about, if you're not dealing with anybody, then another chance to be just feels like reclamation of yourself and your actual identity apart from servitude, like seeing yourself as what you have to give and no more than that. How you can show up and support other people. You can be the giver. This is about reclaiming your ability to be receptive. So this is your second chance at life for yourself, because you're closing out a major chapter within yourself. And now you're getting ready to be able to walk forward onto the next chapter of your life without the burden of, it's like trying to stop other people, like intervening in other people working through their karma. Because we don't even realize that that's what we're doing when we're doing it. But that is what you're doing when you stop people from having to learn how to be there for themselves and heal themselves. So let's read another chance to be, even though we've definitely pulled this card on this channel before. All right. Regeneration, reclamation, reconstruction, second chances, rebirth, rebuilding, emotional healing, peace and opportunities after releasing. Many species on our planet can naturally regenerate. An octopus restores a limb when injured. A dormant tree awakens in the spring with new leaves. Now you too are invited to experience the revival of something in your life. I want to pause for a second. I forgot that before I sat down to do your reading, I was doing something else a couple days ago. And I was like, okay, when I sit down and do the reading, I'm going to start with Scorpio. And the first thing I heard was holy matrimony. So for some of you, if you're not dealing with a person, take that holy matrimony and that union as being union with self. And for those of you that are dealing with someone, you can take that however you want to. Okay. It doesn't have to be that that's happening right now, but it's more like that's where things are going. um Now you too are invited to experience the revival of something in your life. It may have been on hold, or something you had to repair, or something you thought was lost, but now can be reborn in a new form. The universe is giving you the gift of a second chance. I do think that the more you guys connect with yourself, you're going to be finding a lot of like lost dreams and goals, and like wishes that you had from when you were younger that you just were like, nah, that can never happen for me. And for a lot of you guys, that dream was love related. um so I do think that that's going to be coming back around for you. If the renewal is of a relationship, it can be a beautiful thing. After a challenge and disconnection, you may now have a better understanding of each other's needs. Then you can make the conscious decision to move forward and evolve together, perhaps with changes to the shape of the relationship. That's that death card we were talking about. In any situation, the rebirth isn't something you stand by and just watch. It will take some effort on your part, but the result will be more than worth it. Mistakes have been made on your manifestation journey, but you learn from them and regroup. Now is the time to reclaim your faith, your vision, and your hope. No matter your question, a second chance is assured. We love that. I love that so much. I don't even have anything else to say about that card. Let's move on to all the time in the world. The quality of time, stretching time, man-made time versus natural time, running out of time, time management, slowing down, too much focus on the future. Yeah. We don't have the 10 of Pentacles here, but I do think that somebody also is working really hard towards trying to create stability for themselves in the future. And that's also why they're neglecting this around them, because that feels, I'm hearing it feels like a looming threat. You know, it's like they don't want to give so much to this relationship. And then, you know what's funny? This is about somebody you guys are dealing with, or again, Scorpio, place where it goes. But if this is about like a romantic relationship, this is a person who likes you too much, and that they don't actually like you too much. But I'm saying that because that feels like their words. They feel like they could really lose themselves here to the point that they love it here so much they just gonna quit their job. I don't know if somebody's done this before. And I promise I'm not laughing at whatever this is. Because it feels dramatic, but they could have. Maybe they've done this before. Maybe they've been in relationships and they've just like thrown their responsibilities to the wind in order to spend all their time with this person. So somebody could struggle with or have struggled with codependency, and they're afraid of falling back into that pattern. And they're looking at you like, I can really be codependent on you. And I don't want to let it get there, which I think this person should realize just how much healing has taken place for them to be at that point, and just how much self-awareness they've gained for them to be afraid of something that they used to do before without a second thought, you know? So that's funny. They're like, I could get lost in this. Like, I'm trying to do this for myself, but I start fucking around with you. I get closer to you, and I just might just like be like, you know what? Let's go off the grid and go live on an abandoned island together. Like, but really, the abandoned island is like, it's figurative, because this is more like them. isolating themselves with you to the point that it feels like the two of you are on an island. So they have a fear of that because they're like, because I'd actually like that. I'd be real comfortable in that, but it wouldn't be healthy for either of us and it wouldn't be good. And my life would be suffering in other ways. You know what I mean? So somebody's just really having to find balance. Um, that's really funny. Okay. Natural time is a fluid state of being, capable of expanding and contracting according to the person who experiences it. Our earliest ancestors knew time through the cycles they observed in the natural world and tracked their life by the cosmos. That said, through our rich human imagination, we discovered many variations of describing the years, days, and minutes and built systems around them. But if you allow the modern calendar and ticking clock to dictate your experience, you'll impose unnecessary restrictions on yourself, maybe rush things along, and miss important steps. Time is not running out for you. Your heart knows this truth, but your ego demands that everything happen right now. You have all the space in the world to complete things, achieve things, and experience the success of your intention. Timelessness is actually the truest nature of time. Your only task now is to surrender the clock and be fully present to what you're doing. There's more to be done, so be here right now. Time is on your side, and all is more than well. So I feel like that's going to be for those of you that don't have anybody in your life right now, you working as hard as you're working at work. I think no matter whether you're dealing with another person or not, right? There are heavy themes here of people just trying to secure themselves. And trust me, with the state that everything is in right now, I more than get where that fear is coming from. It feels like the world's gonna end tomorrow. You know, it feels like everything's gonna come crashing down tomorrow. It definitely gives the sky is falling. Funny part about that was that Chicken Little was right. um But in this case, the sky is not falling and the world is not crumbling around you. It's not crumbling at your feet. So even if you're trying to figure out like where to go next, you know, whatever job that you have right now, you're like, I'm just not satisfied. This isn't what I want to do. And I was saying that you guys needed to take time by yourself so you can figure out where to move next. Wherever that's going to be, it's going to be a process. You know, this isn't going to be like a one and done thing. You wake up tomorrow and it's like, boom, we are right at our end goal. Not at all. Whatever information that you're receiving about where you should be going next is just, again, it's a journey and it's not linear. There's going to be backtracking. There's going to be sidestepping. There are going to be roadblocks. There's going to be rejection. There's going to be stagnancy. But there's time for all of that to happen. Like spirit has accounted for all of that happening. So for you, and I think this is also going to be for those of you that this is about a relationship. You're looking at this like, well, it just isn't enough time. Like this is not happening and coming together as quickly as I would like it to. And spirit's like, slow down. Okay. We accounted for this. You didn't. Wasn't your job to. It's just your job to go along with the process as it happens. But we accounted for all of this. Okay. So this is still on the right track that it's supposed to be in, just because it didn't like, boom, you wake up and this all came together. This relationship just fell into place tomorrow. It was never going to happen like that because that was never realistic. There's a lot that has to be worked through. I almost made up a word. Work through. There's a lot that has to be worked through here. Regardless of whether you're dealing with another person or not, or we're just talking about somebody's own personal journey. There's a lot that needs to be moved through. There's a lot of, again, karma that has to be worked through. And this is a relationship on both sides, on both parties. Things are coming together in the time that they are supposed to, when they are supposed to. Okay. So even though your ego is like, you're fine. Everything's okay. You know, you're still going to get what you want. You're going to get whatever you're manifesting. And right now is just a good time for you to shift your perspective into what you have control over and what is in front of you that is going right for you right now. And if you feel like there's nothing, then what, again, can you gain control over so that you can be in a state of gratitude? Um, I think with holding space for love, if this is about your relationship with other people or another person, there's definitely a need for you to be more grateful for the love that the two of you share, even though you aren't able to connect and share in that love right now. It's like be grateful for the existence of this connection and the fact that things haven't completely crashed and burned here. I mean, be grateful for the fact this person likes you so much that they're like, I could get lost in it. Okay. Things are not as bad as they may feel right now. We don't even have the moon card out, but it's kind of giving that, like, that uncertainty and like the veil, the fog. You can't see through the fog. But we do have the sun. So whatever uncertainty has been happening here on both parties, on one person's side, like, things are going to get a lot more clear from here moving forward. Last card, because we talked way too long. The masks we wear. Okay. The number 33. The personality, the many faces of self identity, self expression, rehearsing the future, a mask as self protection, knowing your authentic self beneath. As human beings, we express many distinctive identities throughout our life. You put on different masks, which are impermanent and interchangeable because your self expression and perception of yourself evolves. New masks emerge as you need them, as your awareness and inspirations require them. They help you present yourself to others in the way you intend. However, you have no control of the filter through which others perceive you. Cherish those relationships where you don't feel the need to don a rigid mask to feel safe, seen, and accepted. The ones who witness your evolution with open minds and hearts are sacred. Right now, your sights on the future require you to don a new mask and rehearse who you would be before you have the benefit of having experienced it. Ask yourself, who would I need to become to live this future vision? What would you need what would need to shift or change? Act as if and watch the miracles rise up to greet you. Once you know this, you will live this new life, this new identity, this new version of yourself sooner than you think. So this is all about manifestation. Like, that's probably like rule number 1 in law of attraction. Become whatever it is that you are trying to attract. So if you want, it's like be the change you want to see. So if you want a healthy, loving relationship, or you want to be understood by people, then become a person that understands people. You want people to hold space for you, become a person that holds space for people. You want people to respect you, become a person that's respectful. On the back of the deck that just jumped out was the world card. So this is about needing to learn from your past experiences, but also you are in a current experience right now that you are needing to learn from. So whatever is happening, whether this is about, you're not dealing with someone, or this is about a relationship that you have with a person, or, work environment, family stuff, whatever it is, that however this resonated for you in this reading, you're needing to learn from what's happening to you presently. And you're needing to become adaptable as you learn more. So as you know better, you do better. So it's like, be prepared to gain more information and start to move a little bit differently from the information that you've gained. Instead of being rigid, and it's like you receive new information, but it's like, well, I'm still just going to do things the same way I've been doing them. Which Scorpio is a fixed sign. So remember that. There's a need for you to be a little bit more mutable, a little bit more go with the flow, There's also a need to not be rigid in the role that you've played in this relationship. So it's like if you're dealing with someone and you feel like, I've been hurt here, don't take that on as a part of your identity in this relationship where you are the person that's been hurt here. So to the point that you don't allow there to be room for this person to be like, well, I've been hurt here too. I've been hurt in this relationship. I have feelings here. This is impacting me too. Don't take on the identity that you are the only party impacted. I love that my alarm just stopped me. That was actually my last point. Spirit said, wrap it up. As always, I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me. Make sure that you like so that we can exchange energy, so that your energy and messages that are more specific to you and your situation will come out in these readings. Share it with anybody that you think it will resonate with. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Turn my post notifications on so that we're hanging out. My personal readings are open. I always forget to say this at the beginning of the videos because I really just be ready to get right into it. My personal readings are open. More information about that will be found in the community tab of this channel. If you have any questions about anything, make sure you email me, eternalserenitytarot@gmail.com. And that is all, my friends. Happy November and happy birthday, Scorpio. Bye.